Okay, so when I first heard this, I genuinely thought someone made it up. Like a Hindu saint, one of the most respected spiritual gurus in Indian history, said, "You will reach heaven faster through football than reading the Gita." That sounds like something an atheist says to win an argument, not something Vivekananda says. But he said it. Those are his actual written words from a certain letter. And when I first heard it, I was confused. And then I grew up a little and then I understood it. And honestly, it changed how I think about discipline, about body, and what it actually means to understand something. Let me explain. So, here is what most of us do with something like the Gita. We read it or we listen to someone who explains it. We nod along. We find the parts that sound profound and screenshot them. We feel like we have engaged with something deep. And maybe we have, but on a surface level. But here is the thing that Vivekananda understood most of people skip over. The Gita isn't really a text about religion. It's a text about action, about doing the difficult thing even when every part of you wants to stop, about showing up fully even though outcome is certain, about overcoming the war inside your own head before you can face anything outside it. And you cannot understand that by reading about it. You have to feel it. And this is where football comes in, or any physical discipline, honestly. Because think about what actually happens when you try to get physically fit, when you try to build any kind of discipline in your body. The first enemy you meet is not the physical pain. Everyone thinks it's the body that gives up first. It's not, it's the brain. Your brain starts negotiating with you within the first few minutes. It says, okay, enough for today. It says you did well, you can rest now. It says missing one day is fine, you will come back tomorrow. It says you are already tired, pushing more will just injure you. And every single one of those thoughts sounds completely reasonable, and that's what makes them dangerous because this brain is not lying exactly, it's just choosing comfort over growth every single time. We're telling you that's what it's doing. Now, think about Arjuna. Here is a man which is one of the greatest warriors who have ever existed in the entire Mahabharata, trained his whole life, physically and mentally prepared in ways for most of us cannot even imagine. And even he, standing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, completely falls apart, drops his bow, sits down in his chariot, says he cannot do this. The mind defeats him before a single arrow is fired, and it takes the entire Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is speaking directly to him to pull him out of that. Now, Arjuna needed all of that to overcome what his mind was doing to him. What chance do I have reading the same words from my phone or the Bhagavad Gita I have? Physically unfit, never having pushed through anything truly difficult, never having felt what it means to overwrite what my brain is screaming at me. How am I going to understand what Krishna is actually saying? See, this is what Vivekananda meant. He wasn't saying Gita is useless. He was not saying spirituality is useless. He was saying certain things can be understood through experience, through the body, through doing the difficult thing when everything in you says stop. When you push through a run that your brain told you to quit 20 minutes ago, you understood something about the mind that no book can teach you. When you show up training on a day you genuinely didn't want to, you understand something about discipline that Krishna spent 18 chapters trying to explain. Not because football is spiritual, but because the struggle is the same struggle. The enemy is the same enemy. The brain negotiating with you, choosing comfort, choosing the easier path, and the victory over that. Even in something small as finishing a workout, the victory teaches you something real, something in the body, something that reading alone can never reach. I will be honest with you. I am someone who finds it very easy to be lazy. I understand this intellectually way better than I practice it physically, which maybe its own kind of proof that Vivekananda was right. Because I can explain the idea to you right now. I can break it down. I can make it sound like I've figured out something. But the person who wakes up at 6 a.m. and runs when they don't want to, they know something I don't. Not because they read more, but because they did the thing. They made the brains resistant and kept going anyway. That's what Vivekananda was pointing at. The doing, the showing up, the physical act of overcoming yourself. And here is that thing that I think is actually beautiful about this idea. It means spiritually isn't separate from the body. It's not up here in the head somewhere, in text, in rituals, in reading. It's the resistant. It's the moment your brain says stop and you take one more step anyway. The moment, the tiny moment, is closer to what the Gita is actually about than 100 readings of it without ever having felt what real resistance feels like. You don't have to be religious to understand that. You just have to push through something hard enough to know that what it cost you. So yeah, Vivekananda was right, and it took me an embarrassingly a long time to understand why. Go outside, move your body, meet your brain's resistant effort, and repeat it once. You will understand more from that experience that I can explain in any video about the Bhagavad Gita